Here's a quick refresher to get up and going with your TFR 905H single board computer with the Hitachi HC63C09EP processor, a second source for the Motorola 6809. You go to pizga.net, Pizga.net, choose the releases directory. Then go in TFR 905H, and you're going to want to get runtime bundle dated July 29th, and also the Borges zip dated July 29th. Now I've unbundled them here, and here's what we see in the bundle. We're going to be using the make file. Well, there's the README. That's the thing to read. We're going to be looking in the generated directory, and we'll also be looking at the log file that gets created. In the generated directory, lsgen, T-console, there's Linux, there's Mac, there's Windows variants of the T-console. That's the program that you run here on your PC. I'm using a Ubuntu Linux. Your mileage may vary. Also notice we've got some disk images here, including a level 1 disk and a level 2 disk. Those are going to come into play. So first we want to flash, and we have a flash button labeled boot cell, but we don't have a restart or reboot button. So we just have to plug it in order to reboot. So I'm going to hold down boot cell and plug in the board. And my computer made a noise to let me know that DF, it's now mounted media strick RP2350. That's the directory we're going to copy to. So copy the generated the UF2 file, tmanager UF2 to media, my username, RP2350. And it made another chime to say that it had unmounted the directory when it was done. So now we flashed it. I'm going to unplug it again and say make run, and go ahead and start that. That runs the terminal program. It's going to print error messages about it can't open the USB device every second. That's all right. While it's printing those errors, I plug in the board, and it's flashing the little LED blink, 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 and it's typing the punctuation. Those two indicate that it's up and going. So first let's demo TurbOS, and I hit, or TurboOS. I hit 0 for that, and it's gone into a shell. There's not a lot you can do here. The mdir has the commands. There's shell and mfree and mdir and prox. Prox, mdir, -e, mfree, and we can make another shell and another shell and keep shelling in. And now if I do prox, we see all those shells running. And there's no other more interesting commands right now in this image for TurboOS. So Control C to stop that, and unplug, and we're going to make run again. And this time, when we see the punctuation, instead of typing 0, I'm going to type 1, and it goes into OS9 Level 1, and it runs this startup file that has it go into BASIC and run a program and print a benchmarking speed of 5 trials. If you dir, if you remove the startup file, it'll quit doing that. Dir commands So, and -e. So there's a level 1 environment. It's got basic 09. I'm going to hit Control C and stop that session and do make run again. This time I plug in and I type 2. And this gives me OS 9 Level 2. It runs a little slower because we're doing the memory mapping that's required for Level 2. dir commands, and let's go into basic 09, and then $shell to shell out into shell, and now procs or proc shows 3 shells and a basic 09, pmap and smap. Those kinds of things work, mfree. So that's a level 2 environment. I hit Control C. Next, I want to show you level 1 with logging. And in order to do this in temp, I have to have the Borges directory, which was that zip I told you to get. So unbundle that in /temp, and it's got listing files for lots of modules. So make run, and we're already have the -Borges /temp/Borges on the command line there, though. Oh, I forgot to unplug first. Let's see. Plug it back in, and I've got punctuation. Let's see if it'll let me launch. This time the formula is XE6, and no. That's why you unplug before you start make run. I haven't made it very robust yet. Get the punctuation XE6. This time it's going slowly because it's logging every instruction, and it's should be matching up most of those instructions with things in the Borges directory where we have module listings. So I'm not going to wait for it to go all the way through basic. I'm going to hit Control C after it does the level 1 splash and look at _log and go to the end of the file, and let's shrink the console a few times, and you can see that it's executing in IO man when I killed it. These are the read and the write cycles, the data bus, the address bus, whether it's reading or writing, and the assembly language instructions are all matched up with it. So you've got a log of everything that happened. And let's do it one more time for level 2. Unplug, run, make run, plug it back in, and this time the formula is XE and 7. The reason there's 6 and 7 instead of 1 and 2, we add 5 to get the slow debuggable version of the engine that drives the vintage CPU. And it takes even longer to come up because we execute more slowly with the memory mapping turned on. But eventually we will see the level 2 splash, and then I will kill it and go look at the log file again. There's the level 2 splash. Good enough. vi_log. Go to the end, and this time we're in the kernel module, and we've got the assembly language lines going along with it. And that is today's demo.